How about questions, guys?
Coach, your defense got after them early and gave y'all the offense a short field. Just how important was that for you guys, especially from the get-go?
Well, I think especially early that was important. When Diggs and Long were healthy early in the game, we really had our hands full, and thought our defense just had 11 guys chasing the football full speed all the time. It was fun to watch. I was disappointed in the second half when we relaxed a little bit and they went 75 in a couple of plays. That got my attention, but I thought overall for 4 quarters, going against a talented quarterback, some talented receivers, I thought our guys really came to play.
What's the difference in the last 2 games, Jim, offensively? Is it the scheme that you changed? Is it the kids growing up?
You mean as far as our offensive scheme right now?
Yeah.
I think it was, more than anything else, trying to find Tanner Price's comfort zone for us. I think, right or wrong, he's more comfortable sitting in the pocket throwing the football, and he runs well enough to be an option quarterback, but we really had issues on the perimeter pitching the ball. We had some issues with getting out of the mesh, actually pulling the ball when it's time to keep it, run down the line of scrimmage. And so we're still running the option. We're still making a lot of decisions whether to hand it or keep it. But the perimeters become bubble throws for us instead of getting down the line of scrimmage and pitching the ball. And I think, I really think what Coach Elrod and Coach Lobo and those guys have done is really started kind of getting an offense that Tanner's more comfortable with. And we ought to play better. I'm telling you, we play very good, especially in the second half. But I think, it's hard to keep the same energy with the lead. But I think they got our attention there when they cut it to 14, and I was really proud of them when we went right down the field and got another score.
Does that show the growth in your team with that situation right there when they cut it down to a 2-possession game and you guys answered right back?
Yeah, I think so, JB. I thought that was a key for us. I thought, the game was just kind of taking care of itself, and it seemed, I was kind of in a little bit of a comfort zone myself. My guys typically don't let me stay in that comfort zone, but, when we were up 21 and we'd kind of gone back and forth possessions 2 or 3 times, it seemed okay. And then the disappointing thing is when we were up 21, we had the ball around the 50-yard line. We get the 10-yard holding call. Then we lose 10 or 15 on the sack. We gave up like 25 yards. I thought Josh Harris had a nice run to get us back to like 3rd and 15. Punt the ball to the 25, and 2 plays later they're in the end zone and cut it to 14. And that was really concerning to me because they have such big play potential. So I thought it was really the right time for Tanner and those guys to have a good possession, go down and score again, and that kind of got us back on track. And from an emotional standpoint, it got us back in the game.
You talked about Tanner's comfort zone. I'm trying to remember last time he looked that good. He looks good to you, Jim?
Well, I thought he was really comfortable. I thought, honestly, there were a couple times we made a couple mistakes. From his position, we got a protection screwed up one time, and then I think we had a really good bubble play to Camp and threw it in the ground. And I think sometimes when you see how open those things are, it's hard to pull the trigger because it could be great play. But I agree. I thought, overall, I thought he played really, really good. And I thought he played really good against North Carolina State. I think he's put 2 games back-to-back, pretty special. And, of course, we had 5 more games of teams that are really talented. So it's gonna take a great effort out of 10 every week for us to be good on offense.
On defense, the key to set the tone right off the bat and forced them to double and triple team in the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think you're right, Michael. I think right out of the blocks, Nikita was just a beast. I mean, he was really doing some great things early, and I think they had to occupy him a little bit more. And I thought all those guys, Zach Thompson, Chris Redding, all those guys up front, I thought Justin Jackson, even though they weren't getting there was lots of pressure. We were getting a lot of pressure on the pocket. And, I mean, they're both quarterbacks I thought are very talented, can really throw the football. And I think some of the times the pressure, even though we didn't get there, forced some bad throws.
How
much of a boost did you give your team for Headland to boot that 51-yard?
Well, I think it was great. I really think it was great. You know, Chad's only problem, and it's Alex Kennel's problem too, is just consistency. You know, we're just not very consistent. Chad kicks off good most of the time. Every once in a while he hits a bad ball. And then from a field goal perspective, he's really got a good leg and gets good height on kicks and whatnot. And honestly, Billy Mitchell came up to him and he said, "Coach, he'll make this." So we went ahead and called timeout and said, "Okay, Mitch, you're fired if he doesn't." And, so put a little pressure on Mitch, but he stayed with the call. That was the good thing. And it was nice to see Chad make that. I know that's really, really good for his confidence and something that we really need. You know, anytime you get down and can come away with 3, especially in longer yardage situations, you know, we really thought about going for it till Mitch told us he'd make it. And so, you know, I was really, really pleased with Chad. That should help him going forward.
So how does it feel to tie Douglas Clyde if he had Walker?
I don't have any idea, to be honest with you, Rob. You know, we got the Canes next week. We got to go down to Miami and play football. So I don't want to make light of it, because I think obviously I'm very proud of what we've accomplished here at Wake Forest. But to be real honest with you, Dan asked that question, you know, at the press luncheon on Tuesday. That's not really ever crossed my mind, and really I never cared about camp, breaking the reception record. To be honest with you, the main reason we got him the record at the end of the game is I didn't want to carry it to Miami. You know, I didn't want that carrying over to where that's all everybody's talking about, and I didn't want him worried about it in practice, and all the kind of things that can go with that. Records are, I think, good to talk about when you look back on them, but they're not good to talk about going forward. So for me personally, I'm very proud of what we've done. Obviously, I haven't won any games without a great coaching staff and a great group of kids that have won a ton of games, primarily the kids. But for me, personally, I'm so excited about the past couple wins, beating State, beating Maryland, huge for our football team, and exciting going forward. We still got a long road, but I'm much more happy for our players and for them finding a way to get back together and win. And I think I told Dan the other day too, Michael and all the guys that were at the press conference, that you give me 5 more wins and I'll give you my record back. You know, I don't care about that at all. I just want our players to have a chance to win each week.
Talking about Cam and KJ, those are 2 guys from Maryland. This is their rivalry game. Talk a little bit about how they played today and about getting those guys out of Maryland and to come down to Wake Forest, because I think one of them helped get the other down. Yeah,
it was really kind of funny. Going in, my biggest fear was, I told the players in the locker room after the game, and we talked about it earlier, but could we recapture that energy that we had for NC State? And it's really, really hard to go out each week and find something to get you motivated. But there were 2 guys that were super motivated today. I thought Mike and KJ both really wanted to come out and play well, and I think we'll find out they both did. I know Camp played really, really well, and I think we feel like KJ played really well, going against some pretty talented receivers too. And so they had no problems with energy this week, and maybe the other 98 fed off them. But it was totally a good team win, and I thought, I think 2 weeks in a row now, we were open last week, of course, but the last 2 games in a row, we've played with a great energy level, and that's been fun. I mean, it's just fun to coach when your guys are excited about taking the field and playing.
How nice is it to have a guy like Camp bring down a guy like a KJ to kind of have that kind of recurring recruiting kind of thing, where you find one guy one place and he comes back and says, there's another big guy on our team.
Yeah, I think that's our best recruiting tool. We've had a lot of kids from different schools, Bowl School. We've had a lot of kids come in, and I think once you've had a kid that's Bartram Trail, I mean, we've had a bunch of schools where once you've had one kid that's happy, it's easier to recruit other kids from that school. But you never really think that you're going to get back-to-back kids like Camp and KJ. I mean, you don't even think that that's possible. But 2 of the best players that we've had since I've been here are from the same school and actually in different classes, and to be, for KJ to be a junior and Camp to be a senior, and both those guys play as good as they are is really something that you never plan on happening. And they're just two. The cool thing about those two guys is they're not just good players; they're really good guys. I mean, they're really good kids.
You mentioned you got a lot of football left to play, and obviously you do. But you did have given yourself a chance to have a good year. Well, how were you able to get it back after Clemson, after Louisiana a little bit?
I think, Dan, it was players. I really do. I think our guys have pride. Our guys want to play football. I think we just went to sleep against Louisiana Monroe. We just kind of showed up and we didn't play. And I don't want to take anything away from them. I think their quarterback's big time, and I think they've got some really good players. But at home we should win those games. Those close games we should win. And I think after that game, our guys woke up. And then, of course, the embarrassing game down at Clemson really kind of emphasized that. And so our guys are a little bit on a mission right now. I hope we can stay that way. That's going to be the key. Can we continue to play good every week, play hard every week, play with emotion every week? Nothing's going to be easy. We possibly have 5 bowl teams left on our schedule. So everybody we play every time we're out there, we got to play good.
How disappointed are you with the tackling on the special teams and the kicks and the punts?
Well, the thing that happens, Michael, I hear people talk all the time about tackling's not as good as it used to be and all those kind of things. But with the emphasis that we've got now on safety, especially concussions, and that most of your injuries occur in live tackling drills in practice and in games, you just don't tackle anymore in practice. You just can't do it. We don't have any live drills during the week. Our number one goal is to get healthy kids to Saturday. And with that being said, not only do we not go live offense and defense tackling, we especially don't go live special teams. And I think what we're going to be more disappointed in than we're going to be disappointed in missed tackles. And I mentioned earlier I'm disappointed in our special teams. But I think maybe more than anything is just the coverage. We took on too many blocks. We weren't beating blocks. It looked like we were sleepwalking out there sometimes. And making a tackle is one thing, but putting yourself in a position to make a tackle is something completely different. I think that's what we're going to not be very happy with, was how we covered the kicks. And then we'll continue. We work tackling every day almost. I mean, we work it. We just can't live tackle. And so you do the best you can, try to have a healthy team every Saturday. And you hope as you're, possibly if I wanted to make excuses for that, it could be a week off. It would have been nice to have just rolled out of the NC State game and come right to Maryland. And probably the one area that can suffer the most are your special teams after an open date.
Did you know that Arnold Palmer was going to open the gate? And if so, what's it like running out after that as a golfer of some renown yourself?
I would not call myself a golfer of some renown, and I don't think anybody that's ever seen me play would either. So we'll get that out of the way quickly. But I knew that he was going to open the gate. I really had no idea he was going to ride the motorcycle. I heard somebody apparently said they were trying to get him to take a golf cart out with the motorcycle, but he wanted to ride the motorcycle. So I thought that was really, really cool. I think, who got the biggest kick out of that were our players, because they're right out there, and we got all that. I mean, once they fired, the thing I was worried about is once they fire that motorcycle up, I'm afraid it's going to gas everybody. It's the fumes are so thick back there, and I was really worried about Mr. Palmer, being on the back of that motorcycle and all the fumes coming up. But it was a special day for us. It's special to beat Maryland, obviously, but it's also special to have Arnold Palmer here for that.
Corporal Reynolds sprained ankle, did he dress the hell?
Yeah, he sprained his ankle, Dan, at practice Tuesday. We were working on special teams. We were working on a kickoff return, and he didn't get hit. He just planted and sprained his ankle, rolled it over. And I told him we have a new rule on the team. You may not hurt yourself. If somebody else hurts you, it's okay, but you're not allowed to hurt yourself. So I hope we'll get him back soon. I think, he rolled it pretty good. And, he was really, well, what's funny, one of the things I was most excited about with Orville is he's blocking good. He's really blocking well on the perimeter. So hopefully we'll get him back for Miami. We'll see how it goes.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, thank you.